Modded. Hi guys, Andy Work here with episode 23 of Show Me the Modded Thing. As usual, deadlines are the 13th of the month for the movie to be uploaded on the 15th, and let's jump straight in with Gary Ashby. And Gary's a man after my own heart. He writes in point form, which I quite like. He says, way back when these were on clearance, I picked up 2 Saturns for $20. One, the first thing I noticed was the fake Picatinny rail at the front of the blaster. It was worthless, didn't need to be there. Anyway, a razor saw and some patience fixed that. Then 2, I used ABS to cover up the holes and add a bit of a Picatinny rail at the back. 3, the original stock was way too short, so I got a range of stock from Spitfire products. I removed the fax trigger and filled in the gaps. The stock was a little long, so I had to cut it to fit. That's funny, yeah. To make a stock longer, you had to shorten the stock. And then he said he put vinyl images. Yeah, this photo shows an example of the vinyl stickers he was using just to get him in position. And then apparently what he did was painted the surface black, put the vinyl stickers down, applied a wood look paint job, and then when the vinyl was removed, he then hand painted the black with gold. So it looks like inlaid material, which is a very clever way of doing it. I thought I'd do the same sort of thing with some of my transfers and stickers on mine, but he's taken it to the next level as usual. Right, next up we have Papa Bludgeon, and he says, I found a broken Nerf regulator on the way home from work. As you do. He says he left it on my to-do pile. I've got several of those, and he always meant to get it sooner, but something else always came up. In his case, which was COVID. So he had nothing to do for a few weeks, so he got stuck in. He set himself a challenge to use what he had at home to complete the project. I stripped out the wiring and PCBs in the regulator and reused some good wire in the build. The flywheels and conveyor are connected to a motor driver, which is linked to a buck converter, then an Arduino Nano. This system is powered by 3S LiPos. And the only thing I understood in that entire sentence was flywheels. The Nano has been programmed to fire a single dart with a quick trigger pull. 2 quick trigger pulls will fire 3 darts. A long single pull will empty the clip. At present, it only fires full-length darts reliably. I'm still working on it. I've then 3D printed a cosmetic barrel and stock. A 12-volt switch rounds out the build. Okie dokie. Very nicely done. This is the first time I even knew that what's it called? The regulator had a belt drive, because I'm always on the hunt for them. So I'll keep a lookout for them. It looks very nice the way he's done it. Kept it all nice, safe colours. And I'm a big fan of using what you got and finding stuff around the place instead of buying stuff, because it just gets ridiculously expensive these days. But very nicely done. Very nicely done. Right, this next one is from a god. It must be, because the little fella is 8 years old. And he's done a Strife with an out of darts Performance 3S kit. It has 41mm out of darts cage with Daybreak flywheels with Kraken motors, Worker mag release and out of darts rev trigger. He's taken the side off a Mark III, and it's a Retaliator stock and front barrel attachment. And he did the paint job as well as everything else you can see him doing in the photos. Soldering, wiring, cutting. I mean, this little fella's 8 years old, and this is amazing. Now, I've blacked out his face in a few of the photos for internet safety, but it's all his own work, and in a few years we're going to have a modding god walking amongst us, and he's got the perfect name already. Well done, Odin. Well done. Next up, we've got another regular, Coffin Black Media, and he's got a pretty simple retaliator mod, he says. It has a new K9 spring, new O-rings with silicone lube in all those sweet spots. If somebody can let me know what they are, I'd appreciate that. I removed the trigger guard to allow deep priming as well. It's a bit of a tough prime, but it will hit up to 126 FPS. I added Teflon tape to the seals at one point, and it actually reduced the numbers, so it had to go. Well, surprise, surprise. I might swap to metal guts later to see how it goes. I made the prime assist from a hand stop found on Thingiverse, the end cap by Walter Tam, and the skulls on it by MakerBot come from Thingiverse as well. I designed the muzzle using Tinkercad and Animator, and that little skull is one of a bunch of in a workbench drawer. Yes, well, you can never have too many little skulls. Very nicely done. Very straightforward look, this one. Nice visuals, obviously not safe to take outside. but probably one of those ones that's for sitting on a shelf and admiring. He's done a nice job on it. The weathering, the rust looks pretty interesting. And yeah, up to his usual standard. Well done, mate, well done. Right, guys, another one. A friend of mine, John T, he's built himself he says it's called the Misfortune, a modded Adventure Force Maxi-Fire with a magazine adapter kit and buffer tube stock attachment from Cake Creative Customs off Etsy. And he says he was originally going to go with the stock drone that came with the blaster, but it just didn't look intimidating enough. No, they never do they? So I cosmetically modded a large Nerf drum magazine to have a more ammo box feel. And he reckons a cool side effect of this is the magazine adapter, instead of the stock drum, it increases the rate of fire significantly. Well, that's a nice little thing. He fabricated the scope, bipod, and added a foregrip and rails, and finished off with a Torg-themed cell-shaded paint job from Borderlands video game. And this is where these cell-shading paint jobs come into effect really, really well. If you want people to notice it, that's the way to paint it. It sort of conflicts with like the dirty, realistic sort of thing I and others do, but it stands out so well. You can really see it. It really looks like it's straight out of a comic book or a video game. Okay, it can be a drawback if you're doing like a low-budget movie or something, but this is really, really, it pops. It's really, really great. And you can't fault his colour choice either. It just looks so good, and it's still got some yellow for safety. Nice work, John. Very nice work. I'm going to have to hunt one of those Maxi Fires up. Oh, sorry, Matrix Fire. Next in line is Orwell's Warning. And unlike the writer, he's a man of few words. And he says, submissions for July. Custom paint jobs to look worn and battle tested using Montana colours with light cell shading. The rival knockout is called the Red Line. The Nerf's Slide Strike was a 7 kilo upgraded spring from OOD called the Red Dawn. And that's it. That's all I've got, but the images speak for themselves. They're beautiful little things. Very safe to play with, obviously. I really like the look of the Side Strike. I think I've got one somewhere I'm going to have to do up soon. And he's just done a really, really nice job. Now, his cell shading compared to the previous one is far more subtle and far more, it makes the gun a bit more believable looking. Hence, I'm assuming all the red and white, so he's not going to get in trouble. But I'm not saying it's better than the previous one or the previous one is better than his. It's just different ways of doing things. There are so many ways you can weather a blaster these days, it's not funny. But very, very nice work, mate. Looking forward to the next stuff. Right, guys, take a deep breath for this one from Vincent D. Here we go. It has all the works but no name yet. Daybreak 40.5 cage, Worker 132 Black Neo motors, Valkyrie pusher motor, NF Strike R upgrade kit with short dart pusher, clear short dart adapter, 3D printed solid covers, J3D flared magwell, modded strife mag release, MIDI 5 volt fans, one on the outside and one on the inside with their own power sources, Elite 2.0 barrel attachment, Rival light grip, red dot laser, flip up tack rail sight, out of darts motor covers, parts of N-Strike body kit and a partridge in a pear tree. This thing is monstrous, and I am totally confused at looking at these photos. It looks like a modded Rapid Strike to me. Certainly the rear end stock and the forebody, the mid body. But on the other side I can see it says Stratohawk. So if anybody can tell me what's going on there, that I would be, grateful for that, just to ease my own poor abused mind. Looking at this thing is just an assault on the senses. There's stuff all over it. And when I say assault on the senses, I don't mean visually stunning and interesting. I mean a New York City Central Park mugging late one night. This thing just has so much to it. You could look at it for weeks on end, and I'm amazed. I mean, the elements I love, like the torch incorporated into the foregrip, the G36-like top cover directly above it. Even the colouring just suits it. It just says, bright colours and stripes in nature say, stay away, this is dangerous. And this thing looks just dangerous. I think after this we need to all chip in and get Vincent's a nice, quiet holiday somewhere, or maybe some Valium and a straitjacket. Or perhaps all three. This thing's stunning. Well done, mate. Well done. Right, Now I'm going to end this movie with a slideshow, but it's not images from all different people I just had. They're all from the one person, Adam D. It's just when I get multiple emails from people, I'll use one and I'll put one in a folder that I call unused submissions. Well, I just checked that folder and there's about 6 unused submissions and all of them are for Adam, so I'm just going to put all his blasters in and chuck in one of the movies at the end he sent me, and you can just marvel at his geniusness. These things are gorgeous and pretty and glow in the dark and have a rate of fire you wouldn't believe. Very nicely done, Adam. Very nicely done.